these 5 commandments that we've etched in stone. Number one, affiliate with a group. Join a group. Why would you join a group? Because of all your arranging ideas, you have to have somebody to practice them on. Until they get out into an arrangement, they're just ideas, right? So if you have a vocal arrangement, you need a group of singers to act as your laboratory. Right. Another reason for this is you get feedback. Here, wait. You get feedback. Some things you think are a great idea are not a great idea. And your group members can let you know this is not a great idea. Or they can let you know this idea is hot, we need to do more of it. Either your group members can tell you that or the audience can tell you that. Yeah? But see, if the audience tells you that, they usually tell you that by walking out. So you want to get valuable feedback to know if your arrangements are working or not. So you want to make sure that you either start or affiliate with a group. That's number 1. Commandment number 2. Learn from other recordings at least as often as you arrange or write. Learn from other recordings at least as often as you arrange or write. Why? Because you want to take these other recordings that you love, that you really like, and you want to break down each component of these arrangements so that you can see all the elements that make up the whole. My brother used to do that a lot. He used to take a lot of machinery and break it down and take it apart and see why it works and then put it back together. Well, that causes you to understand why all the interlocking parts work together. The same applies to music, and the same applies to arrangements. When we had our friend here, you want to take his recordings and you want to break down his arrangements and see, man, I love when we get to the middle part. Well, what about that middle part excites you? Break it down, transcribe it, and then put it back together, and you can see why this works for you, and then you can take that idea and apply it to your great idea, right? Okay, so learn from other recordings at least as often as you create. Number 3, use a broad to specific approach. Use a broad to specific approach. I'm training for a triathlon, and Mr. Jared was kind enough to lend me his bike. I want to use a broad to specific approach. What's my destination? Let me figure that out and figure out what route I want to take to get to the destination. Now, I can hike off into the wild blue sunset, but I don't know where I'm going to end up or if I'm going to be able to get back. But if I use a broad to specific approach, you can determine what kind of song do I want to have. Do I want it to be upbeat? Do I want it to be classical? Do I want it to be big band? And then once you decide what kind of feel you want to have, then you can determine the specifics. Well, how do I want to approach this big band arrangement? What kinds of things do I want to do to get to the destination that I want to get to? That is using a broad to specific approach. Number 4. That's what I said, number 4. Conserve your musical ideas. Save your musical ideas. You don't have to use everything you've learned up until this point in your life in one song. I made that mistake when I had my own group. Everything I learned from all kinds of recordings, I tried to fit it into one song. And it turned out to be a hodgepodge. You know what a hodgepodge is? Okay, let me explain it this way. What if you took all of the seasonings you had in your cupboard and put it into one dish? Sugar, salt, pepper, everything, and put it into one casserole. How do you think that casserole would taste? Terrible. You probably develop some allergies. Yeah, because you don't need everything you've ever learned to be demonstrated in one song. Conserve your ideas. Take one idea and develop it. If you have another great idea, create another song and develop that next idea. Don't throw everything you have to do into one song. You're gonna write great hits. Don't put all of it into the first hit and then be done with your musical career. Does that make sense? Conserve your musical ideas. And number 5, melody is king. Melody is king. What do I mean by that? What was that? Say it real loud. It's the most important thing. I can have a slamming arrangement, but if there's no melody to follow, it's going to be hard for me to remember my slamming arrangement. You remember that song that I told you about, where I put everything I ever knew into one arrangement? The melody was extremely hard to find. So people came up to me after like, ooh, that song was deep. Well, what part of the song did you like? Well, you know, the whole song was deep. There was nothing to hook into because I had covered up the melody with all the great arrangements. Take 6 had to learn. We have great arrangements, but if there's no melody to follow, if the melody has been obscured, then we're defeating the purpose of putting the cart before the horse. The melody is the hook by which you hook your listener and keep them hooked in the entire song. You can take them wherever you want to go, as long as they can remember and they can sing and hone in on that melody. Melody is king. So let's go back and review. See if we remember this. Commandment number 1, join, affiliate with a group. Commandment number 2, learn from other recordings, at least as often as you create. Number 3, use a broad to specific approach. Number 4, conserve your musical ideas, save your musical ideas. And number 5, melody is king. Do you have the commandments? Woo! Shall we go forth? Shall we create songs?
Yeah. All right. It was interesting because when we asked the question, how many arrangers are out there, we didn't get quite as many people as singers and everything. But I would encourage you, as you continue listening and as you continue trying to figure out if you want to have a career in music or whatever it is you want to do, arranging is a very, very important thing. And it's something that allows you, as you get better at it, to really find out where your niche is, how to really be authentically different and have something that is for everybody. So arranging is a really, really important thing. I would encourage you guys to get into that. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to kind of give you kind of a little bit of an overview as